everyone. How are you guys? How are you ladies and gentlemen doing today? So I just want to go down to a post that I wrote recently, and this was a response that I did to a friend, and then I posted this afterwards. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about my feelings about on the Black Lives Matter campaign or issue that is floating around uh, is floating around for many, many years. Now, I've heard from another friend that this Black Lives Matter is controlled by the government and that things are not really as it seems, and it's like media and the government really propagate this Black Lives Matter. And I understand both sides of the story and understanding that we have to educate people on single issue campaigns because then people wouldn't understand, or maybe those people or those animals or whatever single issue campaign we are focusing on wouldn't get recognized. Like when people focus on elephants and captivity of elephants in circuses, for example, and we then talk about how awful it is and how much cruelty and suffering is involved with pertaining to animals and especially specifically elephants. But if we don't include veganism, for example, in that context, then we're totally being separatistical and isolated in our speaking with people and in the context of the elephant. And so when we talk about Black Lives Matter, if we don't include something about the notion of that all life is precious, all life matters, then we're not being inclusive. We're actually being exclusive. And so when we are saying Black Lives Matter, first of all, we have to understand that this is the biggest racial thing that is racial, I guess, I don't know what you want to call it, like a racial issue that people are, like a racial campaign that people are advocating for. And they say, well, yeah, black people's lives matter. And yeah, it's true. Black people's lives matter. But at the same time, when we say this, we're excluding all the other ethnic groups. We're excluding any kind of color person and even non-human animal and even nature. So we're not being inclusive. So when we say Black Lives Matter, and that is one of the main campaigns that is around, why don't we ever see yellow lives matter or red lives matter or brown lives matter or whatever lives matter, animal lives matter? Why don't we see any of those things? And we don't see these campaigns because we are separatistical. We like to separate everything. We don't like to see issues as interconnected. We don't like to see issues uh, as they're all one and the same. And so when we advocate, for example, for animal issues like animal rights and veganism, for example, that is not being separatistical because it includes all the beings. It does include all the beings. But when we say Black Lives Matter, it does not include all the beings. It includes only black people. And even that term, black, is, I think, in my view, is not a great term because people are not black. People are not white. Like, I'm not white. I mean, if you look at the color white, I'm not white. The screen right here is white, the background, right? I'm not that color. So it just doesn't make any sense, you know? And then it's like, well, you got to distinguish between certain people because you have to talk about certain people. It's like, why do you have to talk about certain people? Why can't we just advocate for all human rights, you know? And why can't we just advocate for all being rights to begin with? All lives matter. And when I said that, everybody was like, "Ah, blah, 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 like, and the thing is, because people are so separatistical, number one. Number two, they are, a lot of them are racist. And I'm not saying all of them are racist, but some of them are racist. Some of them, majority of them are separatistical. And even if they have friends or if they know people that are, I don't know, a different shade of color than themselves, or maybe different gender or whatever, different sexual orientation, and they might like those people, they still kind of see them differently, or at least they see them as a separate issue. Like, oh, these trans people, we gotta like single them out, and we gotta talk about their issues because they've been marginalized and da da da. And it's like, yeah, certain people have been marginalized. Now, I haven't been marginalized because of my color, uh, but I was just born like that. I mean, if you're born a certain way, you can't help yourself being born the way you're born. Um, like gay people say they're born gay and, they can't help it. And it's like, okay, they can't help it. And, I mean, unfortunately, they're marginalized. And I mean, if I was a different gender or different, had different color of skin, I would probably be marginalized too. But we got to understand that no matter what, it's not about the skin, it's not about the gender, it's not about any of this stuff. It's about, let's get past that single issue. Just like veganism, we need to talk about veganism and not these single issue campaigns, or at least very little. And even if we are talking about these single issue campaigns like testing, animal clothing, or circuses or whatever, and usually it comes down to it, to animal testing usually, or animal in circuses, or animals in captivity like dolphins and whales, or animals like that. But we ultimately need to understand that when we're advocating for a single issue campaign, we have to treat it and advocate it um, as a vegan issue, because it is a vegan issue. It's a vegan main issue. It's a very important issue, and we need to address that and connect it to and talk to people about veganism and how veganism is actually the solution, and to respect all life on this earth. So people that say that I'm racist or that I'm judgmental or I'm not, I'm not interconnected or anything like that, they are mistaken, because I love everyone. Everyone is beautiful, no matter what, no matter how you look physically, you're beautiful, inside and out. You're just an amazing being. You came here with a purpose in life to do something to make this world a better place for everyone, and to try to enlighten people, or consciously plant seeds of love within people, and to understand that we're all here with a different view and different perspective of life, or on life, and to realize that we're all here, um, with the understanding that we have. Now, not all of us are not enlightened, and we're not all Buddhas. So we're here in different consciousness and with different understanding. So we cannot be all the same. We cannot be all Buddhas. I mean, it would be nice, but it's just not possible. And maybe one day. But we're not that enlightened, and we're not that conscious to really get to that level just yet. And so when people say I'm racist, or people say I'm going to unfriend you or whatever, it's, everything that's in the external world, everything that happens in the external physical world, happens within ourselves. So if we don't like somebody, we have to change that within ourselves. It's like I read somewhere, I can't remember if it was a friend or if it was a meme or something I read, but if you don't like three things in someone, change those three things within you. So that's what we need to do. We need to change ourselves. We need to awaken or plant seeds of love within ourselves. And understanding that, um, we can never change anybody. It's not good to get angry at anybody, to unfriend anybody. Um, People are at different stages of consciousness, different stages of awareness, and we don't really know what's going on within them, within their minds or hearts. And so we have to respect all life, you know. I mean, I respect even the worst politicians, the most evil politicians, but I mean, I love everyone. And no matter what they do, I mean, unfortunately, I it's I love the person, but I not necessarily do I like their actions. That's the thing. And so all lives matter, and I do believe Black lives matter too. But this is really racist. It's a racial term, actually, because when we say Black lives matter, like elephant lives matter. Okay, let's just picture this. Elephant lives matter. And people are posting pictures of elephants being their tusks being, cut off, and saying, "Oh, these poachers deserve to, die in hell or something, or go to jail, or things like that." And it's like, first of all, they're actually projecting their anger into onto Facebook. So really, these are angry people that are posting these things, and they think that, oh, I'm inclusive because I include Black lives in my circle of compassion. And it's like, I understand where these people are coming from, and um, they're really good people. They have good intentions, but they're sincerely wrong because they're separating themselves, separating the issue when it's really an issue about humans versus humans. It's not about issues about anything else. It's really about issues about us versus ourselves, and also us dominating other living beings and nature. So these are the two big problems here. These little petty things, such as the Black Lives Matter or any other issue that we're facing, is really, it's just doesn't make any sense. So, so many people are saying, for example, unfriending you. This post is so disappointing. Everybody's in danger. All lives matter. Exactly. Exactly. Larry. You seem racist to me for thinking that. Please don't send me a Facebook request again. Oh, some people. Wow. And I like this comment actually by Susan. Some good answers were provided to this post, and that's an important part of getting people to think through the issue rather than jumping on someone. Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Susan. But there was one post here by, can't remember who it was by. Load previous comments. So I want to, there was actually a couple posts that were really, really good. I really enjoyed, let's see. Oh my goodness, there's so many posts here. So I like this post. Absolutely true. People are so easy to be manipulated by media, anger, and hate. All lives matter. All lives are precious and divine. This Black Lives Matter is segregating and separating different groups of races. We need to be smart enough to recognize we're all one. Exactly. 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 Why isn't there children's lives matter? I'm gonna write that. Why isn't there? But you know what? No matter what you say, no matter what you say, it's people are just gonna like dismiss it. So I don't even think posting is a good thing. But right now, there's so much rain. You hear it all over the place. So hopefully you can hear this. You can hear this audio. But see, look at this. Christine O'Neill said this. Black Lives Matter every 4 years when they stage a black man being killed by white.
Black lives don't matter any other time when a black man kills a black man. George Soros places bombs of bricks in cities, hires people for $15, causes riots. This is about the election. If I saw people concerned any other time and held peaceful protests, it would have some weight. They have caught red hatred. People are not stupid. So I like that one by Christine O'Neill. So thank you all, and I hope you understand the issue. But basically, and I'm trying to get out of the noise of the rain, but basically, downstairs actually, here we go, downstairs is actually quieter. So basically, I care for all life on this earth, which means every life matters. All different colors of people matter. All different shades of color matter. And I love you all, no matter if you unfriend me or if you think I'm a racist or whatever. It's just because those people are, and I shouldn't say even you because that's kind of judgmental, but these people are just unawakened, and they're sending their anger, and they want to unfriend anybody that doesn't have that doesn't share their thoughts and things like that. But in the end, I love everyone. I don't hate anyone. I think every single being on this earth matters as much as possible. And we have a duty to advocate for every single being on this earth. Every single being on this earth. But the thing is, again, just one last thing, is that with this, specifically with this, and I don't know too much of the story because I haven't really looked into it, but there's George Soros or somebody who was supposedly killed or whatever. It's a lot of hooey, a lot of propaganda, and a lot of exaggeration from the media and the governments. So I don't trust and listen to the media. I think the mainstream or mass media is really. I think a lot of the media lies and fabricates things, and we really don't know what is the truth or what is truth and what is not nowadays. And so a lot of these stories are actually really either false, or they're fabricated, or they're exaggerated in some way, or they're just totally made up. You know, a lot of it is like green screen. What you see on TV is green screen. Is really just it's it's a hoax. A lot of it. You know, I'm not saying every single one, but again, if you have if you cannot see the bucket of apples, for example, and you see just rotten apples on top, okay? Hey, most likely there's going to be, rotten ones on the bottom, right? Or we don't even know if there's going to be rotten ones on the bottom. So that's the thing with media and government. They might do some good in the world, but for the majority part of it, they do absolutely no good. Like for overall, they do more harm than anything, more harm than anything. So we need to question anything that comes from the media. And a lot of these things that people are spreading all over Facebook and wherever else is propaganda from media and governments and corporations, spreading lies and fabricating these truths and these stories to get people to be separatistical and racist and all these kinds of things. Um, so hope you understand that. Hope people really like this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. I really appreciate you listening till the end. And don't forget to share the video and to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click the bell icon if you want to receive email or you want to see new videos in your email, and subscribe to my email newsletter as well. And I think that's about it, everybody. Don't forget to get my books because they talk more about these issues in detail. If you want to learn a little bit more about the deception of the governments and things like that, you can get the book Our Path to Freedom. Okay, everybody, take care, and I love you all. And don't forget, all lives matter.